In other news now, the Kogi state government has ordered the temporary closure of markets and motor parks in Kogi West Senatorial District, this to support ongoing security operations targeting terrorists, bandits and other criminal elements. The State Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kingsley Fanwu, announced the directive in a statement earlier today. Mr. Fanwu says the decision was taken to complement intensified clearance operations being carried out in collaboration with the Office of the National Security Advisor and heads of security agencies in the state. He says the temporary shutdown is aimed at cutting off logistics, restricting the movement of consumables, and denying criminal elements and their informants access to food supplies and other forms of support during the operations. Well, according to the statement, the directive affects selected communities across Lokoja, Kababonu, Yagba West, Yagba East, Kogi, Mokpamuro, and Ijumu local government areas of the state. For more on this development, let's speak with the chairperson of Kogi NGOs Network, Hamza Aliyu. We thank you very much for joining us on TVC News tonight. What's your take as to the impact of the closure of these affected markets and motor parks in Kogi?
Thank you for having me again. For us in Kogi State, it didn't come as a surprise because we are seeing the effect, the efforts of government at curbing the not too recent spike in insecurity that had bedeviled that side of our state, the Kogi West. Because of its borders with Kwara State, and again, because of the kinetic efforts by federal government and security agencies coming up from in Zamfara and Sokoto areas, we're seeing a lot of banditry activities, kidnappings and armed robbery taking part in that particular part of our state. And so when earlier this week, they also, the government also closed down schools, we knew there was intense activities happening there. And again, with the gruesome activity of the actions of bandits that happened in Kwara State earlier this last week, we also found out that the government needed to do more. And so when we heard yesterday that the government had asked motor parks and garages to close up our markets, we knew that this intense kinetic activities is beginning to bear fruit. And so for us, it's as long as the government knows what it's doing, the civil society is totally supportive of what is happening. And we are hoping that the outcome of this will bring in more security for our people.
Well, from your radar, how satisfactory is the level of coordination amongst security agencies and the government in the wake of this heightened security consciousness?
From our own outlook and what we're seeing, we see a lot of presence of security agencies, the army, the soldiers, and the civil defense. We see a lot of actions both in the air and on ground. We are hearing a lot of activities of government and even including the non-government governmental agencies, especially some of the CSOs from our own coalitions who are actively participating in the community mobilization and community sensitization around insecurity. So overall, we're seeing a lot of actions, and we're beginning to see that there's a lot of traction happening between what government says it wants to do and what it's actually doing on the ground. So for us, we're just hoping that with more of these actions, we're going to get more results in terms of more peace and more security for our people to go on with their businesses. Again, the Kogi state government has shown some form of proactiveness when it comes to bringing in citizens and security agencies to form a more sustainable community mobilization effort towards preventing some of these activities. The government recently just developed a prevention of countering violent extremism framework with civil society and security agencies. So we are